Well, g'day guys. I've come down to a little land-based bass spot that I visit sometimes in summer. There's not very much water here. I've just come for a quick afternoon session. I've got the Sage Payload 7-weight with me, and I'm fishing a cicada. You can probably hear some cicadas in the trees there. And today I'm going to be fishing the Rio Single Handed Spey line, which is a line that I like to use for these walk and wade situations where I might not necessarily have any room to back cast. So it's a good line for being able to roll cast or spey cast out to a reasonable distance. So I haven't got too much water to cover here, but let's see how we go. The shadows are starting to lengthen a little bit of shade on the water now. Hopefully we might find a bass. Going to try a few quick casts in the middle of the pool here a little bit more before I start reaching over to the far bank. You can probably see there's a nice bit of shade under that snag, under that tree over there. I'm definitely going to fish, but I'm just going to work my way over to it. There's not really much flow to speak of in this spot. So the bass sometimes can really take their time before they'll come up and hit a surface fly. So I'm going to want to leave my fly sitting there for a good long while before I pick it up. Just going to give the line a bit of a stretch as I start to reach out a little bit longer. Just get it nice and straight. So I'm just overhead casting with it at the moment. It overhead casts nicely. Ooh, I missed him. I don't think it was a very big fish. Might rest that fish for a little bit. All right, let's put a cast back into that promising looking water in the back in there. That's not quite back in there, but it might be close enough. Yep, it was. Again, he missed it. Don't know if it was a real big one. There he is. Ooh, that's not a bad one. Yeah, that's okay. That's quite a nice bass. Yeah, it's a lovely fish. There we go guys, that's a nice Australian bass on the cicada. Alright, just going to unhook him. This is barbless hook, so it should pop out very easily. There we go. Beautiful fish. It's good for the soul to get out onto these little coastal bass creeks. They have a different character to trout streams, but the rugged beauty of some of these spots is just as breathtaking. You couldn't get a kayak in most of these, let alone a boat.
so wading them on foot is usually the only way to really fish them, at least in the upper reaches. You might notice from some of the other footage in this video that I came to this spot a couple of months ago when it was cooler, earlier in the season. The Australian bass migrate down to salt water in winter to spawn, and as the water warms into summer, they make their way back up these freshwater systems, often pushing back upstream after rain events. The early season trip I did was fruitless, as the bass had not yet made it back up here. But it was great to just get out here anyway. Spey casting is an incredibly useful skill to learn. It's not just the domain of big two-handed rods and giant salmon. There are so many other applications for it. I'm single-handed spey casting here on a short 8'9" rod, but it's still so useful in any situation where you have a restricted back cast. I use it for all manner of species, from trout through to brim. It does take some time and practice to become proficient at spey casting, but once you learn it, you'll wonder what you ever did without it.
Oh, he had another go. He came back again. Here he is. There's a smaller one this time. It's only a miniature model this time, but still a beautiful fish. They're all good fun. So let me explain to you guys what's different about a spey taper and why it's so good for this style of fishing. In a normal fly line, what we call, typically a weight forward fly line, a lot of the weight, the mass in the line is right towards the front, towards the tip of the fly line. That means that it's got a lot of power for turning over flies and leaders and things like that. But it makes it not particularly good for roll casting, because when you roll cast, you form what's called a D-loop from the tip of the rod. And when you form a D-loop, the top part of the D-loop has to pick up and cast the mass that's in the bottom part of the D-loop, that's the line that's on the water and going down to your fly. So in a spey taper, like the single-handed spey line, it's got thin line at the tip of the line and a very long taper back to a midpoint. And then the back part of the head of the line, all the way back here, is nice and thick, and this is where most of the mass is. What that means is that when you want to roll cast or spey cast, when you form your D-loop, you've got all that mass in the top part of the D-loop, and then you've got light line going down to your leader in the bottom part of the D-loop. Mass moves mass. If you've got a ping pong ball on top and a cricket ball on the bottom and you try to throw it, the ping pong ball's not going to move the cricket ball. But if you do it the other way around, you've got mass in the top part of your D-loop. That means it's going to be so much easier to roll cast and to move that line. So there's a spey cast of about 50 feet or so. It's probably about the maximum kind of usable range that you're going to get. But it's way more than you're going to get out of any other line, that's for sure. So what I'm doing here is basically a dynamic roll cast or a switch cast. I'm not changing direction, as many people think of a spey cast as a change in direction. Or you could do something like a snap cast, where you lay the line on the water in front of you, like this, come back into a D-loop, and then fire it out. That's also a very effective way to do it. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. It's just a little bit of a quick demonstration of using the Rio Single Handed Spey line for bass fishing. I really enjoy doing this sort of walk and wade bass fishing. There's Not that many places around Sydney that you can do it, to be honest, but I'm sure in other parts of Australia there are. And the same would go for other parts of the world, of course. Anyway, it's a really nice, fun way to fish. Hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. See you next time.